Hello, everybody, and welcome to project number 2 in the 12 projects of Christmas 2024. I am thrilled to be here to share another beautiful project using gold. What's my deal with gold? I don't know, but I love it. I am in love with gold, and so we're going to do some gold today with the Season of Green and Gold Designer Series paper, and this one is super simple again, using really only 2 main sheets of paper. Do you want to see what's coming? Come on and watch the project number 2 of the 12 projects of Christmas. One of my favorite things about Stampin' Up! Is the coordination that is put into all of the products, or a lot of the products. And this time, oddly enough, I'm going to do a little mix and match. So we're not really going to use a bundle, but we are going to use parts of bundles. One is Greetings of the Season. This is my very favorite Christmas sentiment stamp set. I love it, and it came out as an online exclusive in July of 2024. And so did this. These are the Frosted Forest dies. And for this one, we're just going to use this one right here. I think it is fitting for a Christmas card to have bare trees, don't you? We're going to use that. And then we're going to use a couple sentiments from here. And we're also going to use the Nested Essentials dies. And I love these very, very much. I'm going to use the largest of those to create my card. And like I said in the intro, I've got 2 pieces of paper here that I'm going to use for the card. One is a piece of the Season of Green and Gold Designer Series paper. And right here, you can see the gold foil accent on this paper. And what you maybe can't see is that the background is super cool. It's got almost a mix of very vanilla and basic white in kind of a watercolory background look, which is really amazingly cool and unique, very unique. And then here's the back side of that paper, which is just a plain old olive and mossy meadow colored foliage. Then I'm going to bring in the other pieces. How beautiful is that? I love a good plaid. And then here's the one that I had before, or the one that I showed you that we're using. Forgot to show you the other side of this. What I love about this is that you can fussy cut these images. The bells actually have dies, which is great. The other ones need to be fussy cut. There are dies similar, but they aren't perfectly matchy-matchy for this piece. This piece is just a plain gold and white foliage background, and it's got kind of that same white and vanilla in it, the watercolory white and vanilla to its background. And this actually might be my favorite piece. I don't know. I can't decide. I'm going to say that with every one. No, wait, this is my favorite. This one you can cut out with dies. So all of these pieces of foliage here have dies that coordinate in the Season of Green and Gold Sweet Collection. So that is awesome. And then the back of this one has a little stripey pattern. Oh, we've seen that one already, and that one already, and that one already. Let's go to this one. Ooh, you can see the gold in there in some of those evergreen. Well, actually the mistletoe has it too. Is that mistletoe? I think that's what that is. But lots of gold foil in there. And then the back side is just a black polka dot, or maybe it's a green. Maybe it's a mossy meadow polka dot with that same vanilla and white background. And then finally, the last piece, I like this one too. I like them all. I'm a big green fan, so it's perfect. This DSB is perfect for me. So here is that mistletoe again. And then the other side is this fancy gold foil pattern in there as well. So lots of great paper. You can't go wrong with any of them. And we are going to start by folding our card. And actually, we're going to have to unfold it in a second here, but I am going to adhere this only about right here, only in the middle, just a little bit, okay? Just about right here, just 2 little runs of my Stampin' Seal across there because I'm going to want this removable. Okay, so we're only doing it there. And then I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to cut a window in here. And the window is going to be approximately here. And then, as you can tell, that I want that adhesive there so that the adhesive is removed with the die. Okay, so then when we have completed that, like I said, this is going to pop out. I can use this for a different project. And then we've got this loose piece here, which is what we wanted. That's exactly how we want it to go. Now we're going to snag this die that I have already cut from basic white cardstock. And actually, I think I used thick basic white just because I had a scrap of it laying around here. And then what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to adhere it to the back of this designer series paper. I want a couple of the little hills to show, and we're going to have to trim a little of this side off. So I'm just going to take my snips right away and do that. All right, and then we're going to flip this over, and we want it attached something like this. So adhesive, and for this, because I want a thin line of glue, I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue, and then maybe just a touch at the tip of this tree so that I keep it where I want it. All right, so now we're going to flip this and add it. I'll bring it down just a little. And now we're going to flip it over and double check. I think that looks good. All right, so here we've got now our little tree scene, and we're going to fold our card again now. And use a bone folder to give that a nice crease. Then we're going to adhere this back into place. And the reason for removing it in the first place was so that we could hide all of this going on the back side. So now I'm going to grab just some of my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to roll it across. And making sure not to get any on the trees themselves. Because remember, we're putting this back into place, and we don't want to seal the card shut. We want it to be able to open just like this. Isn't that incredibly amazing? I love it so much. Okay, then keeping this closed, we're going to bring back our Greetings of the Season sentiment stamp set. Remember, one of my very faves? And we're going to take the Love and Joy, and we're going to stamp that using a Versamark ink pad. We're going to emboss that in gold. So I'm going to bring in my Versamark, get that all inked up. Before I do that, ooh, I'm glad I caught myself. I'm going to use my embossing buddy. This comes in a cool tool pack, and I'm going to show it to you in just a second. So it's the embossing buddy. And then it's got a reverse tweezers, which worked out really great for another piece that I embossed for this card, and I'll show you that in a minute. It's also got a brush that you can brush away any excess powder or embossing powder. And it's also got this great tray that you can use for your embossing powder. So all of that comes together in a set, which I love so much. It just makes everything just cleaner and easier for cleanup, which is great. All right, so I'm going to stamp my Love and Joy through the opening, and then we'll open that up and we'll get some of the powder. Now I had some excess powder in there from, like I said, I embossed something else for this card. So I just used it right out of that tray, and now I'll be able to take the plug out and use the brush to get the powder all back into the container. Okay, so next up we need to heat that so it is all nice and glossy. I love this part. It is magic every time. And it is the very first thing I did as a stamper. I used them for my very first Christmas cards. And just the gold embossing is so elegant. So that's what we're doing here. Just embossing the love and the joy. And now when you close the card, you can see the love and joy through there. And then I've taken another die from the Nested Essentials dies. It is the second smallest of the banners in this die set. And I cut that out of basic white and embossed the to you and yours on there. And now we're going to add this, and it's going to go right in here like this. So when I add my Stampin' Dimensionals, I'm only going to add them to the bottom. All right, so bringing in my dimensionals, I want to double check what the bottom is because I don't want to put them in the wrong spot. We're going to add our 2 dimensionals on like that. And then we are going to cover up half of that little tree and put it on just like this. And one last little thing for this card. Remember at the beginning when I said I can't get enough gold? Well, here's my gold and silver ribbon again. I showed it in my first project. And then I'm going to make a bow. In my first project, I talked about how one side has a very vanilla down the middle, a very vanilla coloring down the middle. The other side is just gold. Well, I want that very vanilla to show because I think it just is super pretty in there. So we're going to do our little bow. And when I'm doing it here at home, I just do it right from the spool so that I'm not having any waste when I do my bow. So that works out really nicely. And then we'll take a mini glue dot to adhere that to the card. Okay, so I'm going to grab the glue dot, add this right here, and there is project number 2. No fuss, no muss, just beautiful. Now be careful when you write in here. You'll want to write down here at the bottom so as not to have it show through the window, because that is a clean and beautiful look. I hope you've enjoyed project number 2. Please don't forget to subscribe, and you will get notified when project number 3 is up and ready to roll. So thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait till the next one.